Good afternoon, almost evening. We'll call it evening. Good evening, YouTube. I guess it depends on when you're watching it. Good whatever it is to you, YouTube. Okay, so in our windows, we made our rough opening. Well, out here we didn't, I'm in the garage. That rough opening is the same as our windows. But everywhere else inside, the rough opening is actually taller by 4 inches and wider by 3 inches than the rough opening of the window is supposed to be. And the reason that we did that is so that we could hide our blinds up inside the trim. I'm gonna have roller blinds that'll come down, and I wanted them hidden so they weren't taking away from the view out of the window when we put them in there. I also wanted them to actually extend past, so I'm gonna plow out a dado on each side of the trim so that the blind can go down inside the trim a bit, so that we get, a complete blackout instead of having light shine around them, and not have aluminum wings, because that's the typical way that you get that with the store-bought blinds, is you put on these little wings that the blind goes inside. So anyway, that means that we have the foxbuck right here, and then we are putting, let me grab a 2x4, 2x4, here we go. So on each side, we are putting a 2x4 like that. There we go, a 2x4 like that, and then the window flange will actually screw into that 2x4. And then it will come back 2 inches. We just measured those today. It'll come back 2 inches. And then I'll have, what, 1.5 inches is where, if the blinds come down right on the outside of that 2x, that's where the edge of the curtain of the blind will be. So up top, let me get you up there, we'll have 2 2x4s on the flat plus a little bit extra so that we get the full 4 inches. And I did 4 inches because most of the blinds that I looked at required less than a 4-inch opening. So everywhere where there's a fox going this way, you see how it's narrower? That is one of the cross members, because this has an H on it just like the walls do. And so these are the cross members. And then out here, well, that's weird. Go back around, camera. What are you doing to me? There we go. Okay, so out here then, this is where you would typically put the flange and screw the window into, on the outside, of course. And so this is just like the fox block over here where we have that screw plane in there. This is a little harder to hit, and when we were trying to mount our bracing in here, we were having trouble getting them to hold. They wouldn't suck down like the other ones did. And so I was kind of worried after the fact, didn't know what the solution was gonna be, but I was kind of worried that it would not hold. So what I found out that I needed to do is I needed to countersink them first. So I'm countersinking them, and that keeps it to where I can use a clutch on the drill instead of the impact driver, and get those to where it tightens up but doesn't strip out, because it was not pulling the head of those screws down in. Like everything else, we just use the threads to suck the head down in and don't worry about a countersink. Well, now we're having to countersink these just because that's the only way to get it to do that. Well, then I was worried about strength. How strong is this gonna be? So I put 2 screws in on just this little setup here, and then I held it and I ripped it apart, and it took quite a bit of pressure. And what ended up happening is we actually broke the styrofoam, which I knew was gonna happen, and I broke this. The screws did not pull out. So I actually broke the plastic and broke the styrofoam instead of the screw pulling out. So that made me feel a lot better about knowing that if I do, because I have those things every 8 inches. So if I put screws every 8 inches, 2 or 3, then it's gonna be really stout and I don't have to worry about it. So just a little update on the windows. Oh yeah, also, my table's a mess here, but look what I got myself. It was on sale, and I said last time that as soon as it goes on sale, my gimbal is giving me fits today. There we go. As soon as it goes on sale, I was going to buy it, because I know I'll need it when we get over to the trim. And The old one from 1996. That's when Dad bought this thing, when we got the, we had a place, a vacation place that we were working on at the time. And I was freshly married. That's why I know it was 1996, because I just got married. Anyway, that's how old that thing is. And it's seen all kinds of stuff in that amount of time. PVC, wood, aluminum, you name it, we've cut on it. The problem with it, and it's been a problem since as long as I can remember, when you go to do a compound cut on it, so if you set the saw this way instead of just turning it this way, if you set it this way to 45 degrees, which is a very common cut, and then try to cut something like a 2x6, it's not square at all. You kind of got to tweak the saw. If you pull sideways on the handle and flex the saw, I don't know if you can see that thing flexing, then you could kind of keep it on your line. If you had a square line, probably put a outward belly in the cut. But at least it gave us something that looked kind of square. So like when we were doing our, these are some of our joists, our rafter tails. And I was trying to cut these at an angle so that they would meet up with other rafter tails up there for the corners. I couldn't get them square at all. And it's rough framing, so it didn't matter that much, but it still just irritated me. Anyway, so I bought a new saw. It's the DeWalt, which from some of the reviews that I saw was every bit as good as any of the others, like the Bosch or the Festool, and reasonably priced. So we're gonna see how it goes. It's I got a few things on it already, and oh man, does it cut nice. So there you go. I guess I'll put you over here, and I'm gonna cut a couple of the boards for the first window that we're gonna do. So you'll get to watch that. All right, let's check this out. Let's see how square she is. I better check it first. Ooh, that's pretty. I'll let you see the little reveal all the way across there. That's nice. And that way is off just a hair. I might need to calibrate the left and right tip on it. I was playing with it, trying to figure out what that looked like. Okay, so let's go in here and look and see if this fits. This is the window above the bathtub, or will be. And I'm almost not tall enough. Oh, like a glove. I love that. Okay, now if I can mark. Okay, so that's where all of those little plastic ribs are. And so now I'm gonna go mark and drill my holes, my countersink holes, and then hell, I might even install it tonight. We'll see. This is going pretty quick. Okay. Well, yeah, brand new square too. Well, triangle. Amy calls them triangles, so she bought it for me, so I have to call it a triangle. So Amy, thank you for the triangle. Okay. I like that face, so that works. And since right here, that's about an inch. In fact, I'll just show you. It's about an inch. So I'm putting my first screw, we'll call it 1.25 inches. Putting my first screw at 1.25 inches so that I'm definitely inside of the plastic rib. So to do that, these are, I could use the scribe line, but I'm just going to mark them. Okay, here's my countersink bit. Turn this back to drill so I don't have the clutch on. And now, take my countersink off, put my torque back on, make sure I set this. I'm using a 7 on a DeWalt. It goes up to 13, 15, goes up to 15, so I'm half, give or take. So now I want to put something on here to help me line it up so that as I'm holding it up overhead, I don't have to worry about lining up the outside face because I want it to be really flush. So a couple of scrap pieces of 2x will work. Just going with a single screw. Are we ready? I think we're ready. I'm using spray foam glue to glue it to the fox buck. Figure why not? Airtight and waterproof and stronger that way, right? There we go. Okay, let's go in there. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 screws. No wonder I keep having to buy these things. All right. There goes glue. Whole lot of glue. Flush. Ew. Spray foam on the fingers. Oh crap. No wonder it didn't feel good. I put it on backwards. Means I drove my holes backwards. I'm gonna try putting in just 2. All right, let's see what I think. That's snug. I can put in one behind it. All right, so the ones that I just kissed with the countersink might not have been enough, but I think it will work. Because when I sandwich my other 2x4 up there, it will smash into that. anchored all the way around. I think we're good. I like it. Okay. Well, now, get you down here. Now I do need to figure out what I'm putting in between as my spacer, because that's what goes next. And then my other 2x4 will sandwich it in and give me the added strength. I can go ahead and cut it. I'll cut my other 2x4. Okay. Okay. Well, next stop is to get some plywood. So that's not tonight. It's getting dark. I got to go over to the other shop to find it, if I even have enough to do what I need to do. So until next time, bye.